Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got Bryant Falconer back in the studio. Welcome back, bro.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be back.
We're happy that you made it over the COVID.
Yes, sir.
It didn't mess with you too bad.
No.
And but we missed you the last couple episodes. We're glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm back according to you from the dead.
So anyway, tell everybody what you're smoking, man.
Hey, man, I was smoking a gift from you. You gave me and Larry a Nica Libre.
It is the 25th silver anniversary. I'm smoking the same thing. I'll show it up here. A friend of mine gave me 3 of these for me, you, and Larry. So,
and we actually got it.
Actually got it. So that should be impressive already. So anyway.
I can't understand that one.
Right? So, no, because when I get too close, it's okay. Anyway, I've never had one of these.
Me neither.
But so far, man, I'm digging it.
It's got a peculiar taste that I'm trying to figure out. I really can't figure out what this taste is. Every time I take a puff, I'm like, what is that?
So I'm not going to go into that direction. What I'm going to talk about is, so far, man, the construction,
yeah.
I don't know about yours, but my draw is spot on.
Cold draw was spot on.
So
still the same. Got me a little stack of dimes right now, so I'm doing good.
Can't beat that. And then we're drinking the old Woodford Reserve. I want to give a shout out to Villager Cigars.
Okay.
I've also got a 3-pack of those that we're all going to smoke.
Okay.
And I don't know. I've never smoked a cigar. I don't know why they sent it to me, but you know what? Thank you.
Most definitely.
And not only did they send me 3 cigars, they sent me this
Woodford
375 milliliter bottle of Woodford Reserve, and I was like, how'd they know I like this? You know what I mean?
Got you, bro.
So,
got you.
Anyway, thank you to Villager. Check them out. I even put a link in the show notes because they were graciously enough gifting us some cigars and bourbon, which is, my 2 favorite things.
You do those 2, you got them.
So let's jump into our sponsors right quick. If you look over at Bryant, you can see we got the new logo of the leaf on the microphone. That's the color version, and then we have the black and white version on the wall. And we love those guys.
Yes.
And I mean, man, do you know how much time I've been spending there? A lot. The more I stay down there, the more I don't want to leave.
Last night, me and Larry left. Like, about what time we leave, Larry? 9 o'clock. I said, what are you going to do? Nothing. I'm going to sit right here. I was like, oh, okay. So I go up front to pay my tab, and Alan was like, who's left? I said, Rob. He said, oh, we'll be here all night.
No, you know what? I left at 9:30.
So just 30 minutes after?
Yeah, just 30 more minutes. Because, I don't want to keep them guys there.
Got you.
That's rude.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if there's 4 or 5 people back there
you're still gonna stay there.
They don't care, I'm staying. But on the nights where I'm the only one keeping you here, 30 minutes is the longest I'll stay.
He's like, peace.
Yeah, it's like, I'm done smoking. I'm not going to light another one.
And see, the beauty of that is the leaf gives us that opportunity. It gives us that environment where you still feel comfortable.
Right.
Sitting back there like that. Because they're not rushing you off. They don't care.
No.
They don't care. You just felt in yourself like, I don't want to be robbed right now. I'm going to leave in about 30 minutes.
Wow. I don't want to be robbed right now. Let me tell you how untrue that is.
Okay.
There's no one I'd rather be.
That's true.
Boom.
We know that. We know that without a doubt.
I mean, there's things that maybe certain other people would have that I'd be like, damn, I'd like to have that.
But you still love your life.
You know what?
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it, bro.
At the end of the day,
ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. Ain't nothing wrong.
If you're not enjoying
who
your
you
life
are,
and who you are,
come on.
Then, I mean, you're missing the boat.
Almost definitely.
You know what I mean?
You need to reboot, baby.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like you see all these people on like Instagram is, famous for just making this lifestyle that's not even real.
Tell the truth.
And my whole thing is, even if it was real, if that was me in that position, I'd be just as happy as I am right now. But if I was that dude that was like, I don't want to go down that road, but if I was not where I am now, I'd still be positive, happy with who I am.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's good, man. That's good. But that's what I love about the Leaf. It just gives us that opportunity, and no matter what, they have 90% of what you're looking for, and if they don't, just talk to them.
Well, let's just say right off the bat, They have McAuliffe cigars.
Talk about it.
They have Tabanero cigars.
Talk about it.
And so,
Viva la Vida.
man, if you're not smoking those and you haven't tried them, dude, I have been tearing the Habano up.
Yeah, yes.
I smoked it in the Robusto. I smoked it in the Toro. I smoked it in the Torpedo. And out of those three, I go for the Robusto.
That's me too. Yeah.
And then the Toro.
I
mean, if there's no Robustos, I have no problem smoking.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? But if it's my choice, I'm really a Robusto guy right now. In fact, I've got another cigar I got to let you try. And I want to say it's like 5.5 by 40.
Man, coming back from the dead, I'm getting blessed.
Yeah. After the break, I'm going to give you one of those.
Got you,
and we'll save those Villager cigars to smoke again.
Okay.
But this cigar, I think it's a 5.5 by 40.
Got you.
Dude.
Got you. I'm going to find out.
Blew me away.
I'm going to find out.
But
the beauty of it, like you said, you got Tabanero, McAuliffe, whatever you're looking for is at the leaf.
And look down in the show notes, and there'll be a link for McAuliffe Cigars to become an ambassador. And then there's also a link that takes you to the Tabanero website. It's a small mom and pop shop making cigars in Florida, Ybor City. And the dude is just like,
rocking.
I believe that, he is rocking, but I believe that he's one of those perfectionists that wants to give the customer an experience they've never existed or experienced before. And maybe not never, but not consistently, because this guy is on it every time.
Everyone I've smoked has it. I have not had a bad one yet.
And I was talking to somebody at the lounge yesterday, and they were asking me, what's my go-to stick? And the Tabanero Habanos become one of them. And then the other one, of course, the Medallion.
Everybody in the world knows.
And I told the guy, he was like, so that's your favorite cigar? And I said, I didn't say it was my favorite. I said, it's my go-to cigars. Yeah. And the reason why is because I know they're great.
Yes, sir.
And I know they're going to be consistent.
Yes, sir.
And the construction, the flavor profile.
I don't have to worry.
Boom.
I don't have to worry.
There's lots of times when I like to try new cigars. But when I know I want a great cigar.
When you want a certain thing, you go to exactly.
Right. I mean,
I'm going to get it.
To me, like the Padron 1926 Maduro.
Yeah. That's
one of my go-tos for a celebration. You know what I mean? But the Medallia and the Tabanero Habano
everyday go-tos
are go-tos
every day.
Multiple times a week, if not multiple times a day.
A day, I hear you.
So when you have a stick that's that good, and it's just going to be that experience. When I smoke those cigars, I don't think about it.
You don't think about it. Yeah,
I just enjoy.
It's not a no-brainer, but it's that ability to understand that it's consistent every time. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think about nothing. I grab one of these. I know what I'm going to get, and I can enjoy myself
every time. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So check them out, guys. If you want to try them, call up Jay at the Leaf. His phone number will be down in the show notes. So we have a few topics we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to let Bryant start because he wanted to go first. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
During my time under COVID, I sat back and I was doing a lot of research, and then I found out some weird things, but not weird, but particular things. And I read about this gentleman named Walter Bruning. It's Bruning. Bruning.
Gotcha.
This gentleman was the oldest recognized living person in the world between 2009 and his death in 2011.
And how old was he when he died?
114 years old.
Whew.
But dig this. He was a cigar smoker.
All the way?
All the way, except for a period.
Yeah.
There was a period that the doctors told him that he should stop.
And he believed them.
And he believed them for a year.
And then he went right back.
Up.
And how old was he at that age
when
they told him to stop?
112.
I mean, the only one that can tell a 112-year-old what to do is God.
It's truly.
You know what I mean?
Truly.
Other than that, dude, I mean, and how old was his doctor? If his doctor was 60, he's like, dude, I'm almost twice as old as you.
I'm almost twice as old as you. Can't tell me nothing.
Right.
But he stopped for a year and then started back, and he smoked up until the day he died.
Wow. That's awesome.
He smoked 2 cigars a day, 2 glasses of bourbon a day.
Nice. Probably 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening.
And that takes 2.
Yeah.
Overton.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I love the story of Overton. He was a World War II veteran. He died at 112. He lived down in, I believe, San Antonio Austin area. Mm-hmm. And he smoked 10 to 12 cigars a day.
A day.
And he was 112. And, dude, they did a story on him. Did you see?
I read it. Yes, sir.
Well, no, did you see the video?
No, I didn't see a video.
Like, somebody went down there and interviewed him.
Oh.
And they were at his house. Dude, his house was like this very small wooden house on an old, community road. And it was completely like perfect. It looked like the day it was built. I mean, because he doesn't just sit around.
No,
He paints the trim. He paints the house.
Yeah.
He does the lawn.
He edges. Working. Yes, he kept working.
He had the nicest house on the block.
Mm-hmm, because, I mean, at 112 years old,
he still drove his old 1979 Ford long bed.
Yes. I mean, and effectively drove it. Wasn't one of them they thought about taking his driver's license. No, dude, he's still driving good.
Right.
He's still doing his thing. The only problem I had was when those people robbed him or broke into his house, burglarized his house. That's when I had an issue. Because here's a person that has lived.
They're lucky that they didn't get shot.
Because he wasn't there.
Right.
And that's the reason why they didn't get shot, because he kept, what was it? He had a 38 or something that he kept with him all the time.
But here's the thing, man. A lot of people have just lost that respect.
Oh, dude, come on.
I mean, so many people.
Come on.
And so
it's a lifetime thing now. You look back at the mindset of...
Dude, we respected elderly men. When I was growing up, when you saw an elderly man, whether you knew him, you didn't, your dad knew him, nobody knew him, he automatically had respect. And
when he talked, you shut up and listened.
Yeah.
Shut up and listen.
Yeah, people don't do that today.
No, because everybody thinks they know everything. We're in the Google age.
True.
Oh, yeah, I already know. No, you don't. Unless you certain things, unless you experience them, you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Google is not alive.
No. Tell the truth.
You know what I mean?
Tell the truth.
We experience things.
And he did.
And people are losing that. Now, I mean, I see some people that are out doing stuff, and I'm like, they're taking it to a whole nother level.
Almost definitely.
I'm not doing that. But I'm doing what I enjoy.
I hear you.
And so, fortunately for me, I don't like jumping off cliffs without a parachute.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
You seen those videos?
Dude, I have.
Dude, some of them soar right through the middle of an opening.
Yes, and they have those...
And they're doing like 112.
Those flight suits. And so it allows them to glide and then turn. I'm like, God didn't give you that, so you ain't supposed to be doing it. And then between ravines, like you said, in the mountain on one side, mountain on the other side, dude, one mistake.
And a lot of people have died.
Yes.
But you know what they say? They went out the way they wanted
to. Yeah, that's true. Just like them guys they finding on Mount Everest now because of climate change. Starting to melt. They said, oh, he's been dead over 100 years. We didn't even know he was up here.
We figured he moved.
He thought he had moved.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People enjoying their life, doing things to enjoy their lives. Some things I'm just not going to do. I'm not going to do. When I was young, I was a speed freak. I loved my fast cars. I wanted to drive as fast as I could. At 54, the speed limit is all I'm going.
It's like I was talking to, I think Casey or somebody at the shop the other day, and they were asking, what would be the one car you would love to have? And, it's hard to pick just one.
Yeah.
But it would probably be either a 69 Chevelle or a 67 GTX. And I was like, but you know what would be different than when I had one when I was 16?
And now?
I'd just be cruising.
Yes. That's all it'd be is a cruising.
Like I'm going 5 under.
Yeah. and with the windows down and the music playing.
Rolling, but not too loud.
No,
you know what I mean?
Just for me to enjoy it.
When you're not cool, you blast it because you think that makes you cool.
And it doesn't.
When you are cool, you just have the windows down and turned up the music to where you can hear it very nicely.
Over the wind.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
That's what you young fellas have to look forward to is this wisdom that we are just pouring out to you.
Just throwing nuggets at you.
Right.
My second topic,
and
this is something that I know you're going to love.
All right.
It is talking about the 16 best bourbons for every home.
I would love to hear that list.
And it's not talking about Pappy Van Winkle and all that.
That's not the best home.
It's a blue collar list.
Yeah, it's an everyday man.
Everyday man. And number one on that list, Wild Turkey 101.
Got it.
Got it.
Hey, handle. You weren't here last week.
No. Number two, Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Yep. That's upper end for the blue collar worker at about 55. Because I got a handle of 101 for 48. So
I understand. This one is you're gonna be like Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Not a fan.
I know.
You know what? And the only reason I say that is because growing up, when I was 21 and Tim was 22, we bought that by the handle every payday.
Because you could get it.
Right.
You could get it. And it was easily accessible.
You
burnt out.
But we didn't like it then.
And you don't like it now.
And now I'm like, oh, yeah.
I can afford something a little bit better now.
I can afford something a little nicer. All right, what's number 3?
Another Jim Beam product. Devil's Cut Bourbon.
Now, you know what? That's a gimmick. I'm not a fan. Is it the one that comes in a tin?
No. There it is right there.
Okay, I take it back. I don't know. I thought there's somebody's making a bourbon like that comes in a little tin that looks like a flask.
Huh. I haven't seen that.
And I've read some reviews that say don't waste your money.
Next, Old Forester Classic.
All day long. All day. In fact, Larry just had a handle of that.
And he said, next on the list, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond Bourbon.
Can't beat it. It's like a sore pecker. You just can't beat it.
So far, this list is making him think, okay.
Yeah.
There are a couple that he
all over these.
Next, Old Forester 1910 Old Fine Whiskey Bourbon.
Love it. Oh, that's one of my favorites. The 1910 is my second favorite. The 1920 is my favorite. Okay. Well, I say favorite. The favorite that I can afford. They make some that are out of my price range that I've tried because Sean O'Connor brought them.
Oh, yes.
And they were amazing. But no, that's out of my, but the old 1920, 1910 are both fantastic.
Gotcha. Now, this is one I've never heard of. Hill Rock Solera Bourbon.
Never heard of it? Huh. It looked like it said Hell Rock.
No, it says Hill Rock.
Because it looks like fire up above.
No, that's their brand.
Yeah.
It says Hill Rock. Then we have Blanton Single Barrel Bourbon.
I've only had Blanton's once when Dr. Bill passed. Yes. And I think that might have been the rye. But I don't remember. But I don't have any idea which Blanton's I had. It was nice. I didn't, I only had one glass because I didn't want to be like the drunk at the memorial service. Next,
Weller's 12-year bourbon.
I've never had the 12. I've had the reserve, and the reserve was good.
Yeah, we've had the reserve.
Yeah, we had it here.
Yeah.
And then I took it to the Leaf, and there was probably about maybe less than a quarter of a bottle, so I just left it up there for anybody.
Anybody to take. Next, Milam and Green Triple Cash Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Now, that's a new one I've never heard. Screenshot that and send it to me.
Gotcha, bro.
That looks interesting.
$42.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Then we have...
That's one of those that if I saw on the shelf, I wouldn't even know that it was good. You know what I mean?
Then you got Barrel Dovetail Bourbon.
Well, I've never heard of that. Let me see that one. Definitely not seen that one. That one does not interest me as much.
Then we have... Buffalo Trace.
Got it.
Woodford Reserve.
Drinking it.
Right now. Okay, next, Johnny Drum Private Stock Kentucky Bourbon, $39.
That's probably not even available around here.
You
but
know it's not.
Johnny what? Dump?
Johnny Drum.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Drum.
I'm going to say that's probably not going to be available around. Is that it?
That's the list.
Well, I'm very disappointed.
We could have went a little bit better. They could have.
Eagle Rare wasn't over there.
Eagle Rare's not on there.
Did you see there's a bottle of Eagle Rare up there?
Elijah Craig wasn't on there.
All day long. Or 1492 wasn't on there.
Come on.
Yeah. That,
so
I don't know who wrote that list.
I looked at that list and
it was probably a team effort where like one guy knew what he was doing and one guy wanted to piss everybody off. You know, one of those deals.
The ones that I had never seen, I was like, okay, maybe Rob had heard this, and then I especially thought maybe Larry, being the bartender, had heard of some of these things. But it was just like, this might be peculiar. It might be something to talk about, because that we may have listeners that have drank some of these bourbons, and maybe they can give us some insight on it.
Yeah, and you know what we would love to do is just for listeners that want to. Send the email to rob@cigartalkpodcast.com.
Yes, sir.
And just send me your one go-to and how much it cost.
Oh, that's a good list.
You know what I mean? I don't want a list of 10 from 100 people, but I would love a list of one.
Just your one
from
go-to.
100 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how much it costs.
And then see what comes out on top.
Yeah, so we can...
That way we get some real research instead of just our dumb shit ideas.
Because we kind of stay on the same plane with a lot of things.
Sure we do.
They're Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace,
you look
Elijah
at when
Craig,
Zeka comes in town, we get to try something new.
Yeah.
When Sean comes in, we get to try a lot of new.
Yeah.
So, we love finding out new bourbons. But, when you go to the liquor store, you know what you're looking for.
Most definitely.
I don't want advice from the liquor store guy because I think he's just trying to sell me shit.
Car salesman.
It's like, you know what? If I trusted the guy working at the bourbon store, I would love him to come over. Like when you go in and ask about a cigar with Scott, he's not trying to upsell you.
Nope.
He's going to find you a cigar that you love.
Yes, sir.
I would love to find that in a liquor store. I mean,
that would be amazing. Yes, that's what was coming to mind, because that would be amazing.
Right.
Instead of somebody trying to upsell me on a bourbon that
turn me on to something I'm going to love.
I'm going to become not as a tobacconist, become a bourbon. Larry, a bourbonist.
I was going to say drunk, but whichever.
Well, according to our listeners, the show already has a drunk.
Larry can go work there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me show y'all how to do this.
Yes. Let me show you how to do this real quick. Step back.
So, no, wouldn't that be amazing, though?
Man, that would
But
be
no,
amazing.
you guys, I hope everybody will send me a bourbon of your choice.
Yes.
And what I would like for you to do is just put your name, where you're from, what the bourbon is, and how much it costs.
Yeah.
And you must be 21 years of age or older to participate.
Please be. We don't want to be arrested or get you caught up in some situations.
I don't want to be arrested.
Never.
So anyway, when we're going to have a quick break here, and when we come back, we've got some more topics. We've definitely got our pick 6 of the week coming up.
Most definitely.
And then we've got a couple of conversations that Bryant's not privy to, so I'm going to spring it on him, and so he'll be ready. But anyway, we're going to take a quick little break, do a couple of shots. We'll be right back after we're drunk. Hey guys, welcome back. We've finished a few shots, and now we're ready to get rolling into the rest of the show. So
rolling.
Anyway, man, one of the things we wanted to go over, I read an interesting article. See,
yeah, he had a few.
Two extra shots will help that Lubbockian accent just
out.
roll off the
Come
tongue.
out.
Anyway, I wanted to give some tips on burn issues.
Okay.
So this article that came out, I read through them, and I knew all of them but one. One of them I'd never even heard about, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, because the issue at hand with that particular issue is one of those that usually I'm just like, well, that sucks. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to have problems.
Yeah.
So, because when you light a cigar, and we talked about that earlier, the go-tos.
Most.
Because you don't have these issues with those.
No.
But you want to smoke other cigars.
Yes,
I
you do.
do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sometimes you're going to have some issues.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're small issues that you overcome quickly. And sometimes they're issues that you say, screw it, and I'm going to just get something completely different.
Yes.
And so, anyway, let's go ahead and get started on the list here. So, when your cigar is burning unevenly, it starts to burn more on one side than it does the other.
Okay.
A lot of people call that canoeing.
Mm-hmm.
And for back in my day, we called it a runner. But anyway, when it starts burning more on one side, this article that I found in a magazine, let's see who makes this, Famous Smoke.
Okay.
And anyway, they say just to lay it down on the ashtray, like you're just letting it rest. And because it's just, you're not smoking it for one, but it allows the fire to catch up with the rest of it at that angle. Now, I have no scientific data to back this up, okay? But what I do is I already do that.
Uh-huh.
But what I do is, like, this is the side that's not burning.
Mm-hmm.
I set that side face up because in my theory, heat rises. So not only does it allow to catch up the burn, it intensifies the heat on the top side. What do you think?
Now, did you just hear this pyromaniac?
I was always a pyro as a kid.
He sat there and said, I turn it up because heat rises. So I know the flame is going to come up now. So now the flame can catch that side.
But doesn't that make sense?
I would have never thought about that. I would have just laid it down.
And that's what they recommend.
Yeah,
but
I
say the heat rises. Why not put the part that's not burning on the top? So it actually allows that to catch up a little faster.
Got you, bro.
That's just my own theory.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Hey,
if it works, ain't nothing wrong with it.
So another one that they say is to wet it. And I've done this. Now, not with water.
I know.
So, like, if it's burning, if you see that you're starting to just barely get a little runner, I'll lick my finger and get a little spit on it.
He was going to say saliva.
I was, but then I was like, I can't say that word. And then I just rub it right there to moisten it up more so it slows down.
I got you.
And if you let it get out of hand, that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But if you catch it early, it will work.
Okay.
So, I mean.
And see, I never thought about that, about moistening that side. No, that never crossed my mind.
Well, I wouldn't say moistening. I would say wet. You want to actually wet it. And look, coming up on our next little tip, which I did not know this one.
Okay.
And I thought this was a great idea. Now, they recommend how, like, you see right there, I've got a little tear in the wrapper.
Uh-huh.
So, like right there, that's not bad. But
however,
a tear
I've seen some worse,
can turn into a disaster.
Yes, it can.
I mean, especially when, like, a whole seam starts coming off.
Man.
You're talking about a big section of your cigar now. And now, if you don't fix that, it can just go crazy bad for you. And so what they recommended, and that's why I've got it right here on the table, is, well, first they recommend pectin.
Okay, I know what pectin is.
And do you have any handy?
Nope.
Right. But you do, or most people do, have lip balm.
Yeah.
So I actually have some, and we're going to actually try this out because I've never actually tried. So I just took a little dab, and then I'm going to put it right there on there, and let's just see if it works. Because, and this is not scented.
Yeah, you can see that would be my problem because I use what's the name?
You probably use some cherry flavor.
No, it's not cherry. It's
vanilla, pineapple.
No, it's strong. It's
vapor mint,
something like that.
Yeah, eucalyptus and menthol.
Yeah. So they turned my stick into a Newport.
So anyway, we'll see. So far, I mean, it looks like it. Tacked it down, so I mean, especially if you catch a tear early. That might be a great little, and granted, I don't always have lip balm with me, and I'm probably not going to carry it just for the one time it happens. But if I'm here in the studio, I always have some.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to carry it to the leaf.
Why not? If you leave it in here.
Because if I leave it in here, I know when I'm in here, it's in here. If I take it with me, there's a good chance it's not going to make it back in here.
That's true with you.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
You know what? I no longer take my lighters or my cutters.
You leave them here.
I used to always
and lose them.
I've lost at least 2 XOs. I don't know how many lighters I've lost, and so now I even will pick up a lighter, and I'm like, oh no. They got them at the leaf. And speaking of that, they've got the new table lighters.
You got to get that one on there.
I bought one for the studio because I love it, man.
Yes.
It's a table lighter. It holds a lot of fluid, and it has a nice big flame, and it's got a flame that turns red.
You see that?
So you can see it. That? And so, you can see it.
Yeah.
But, dude, $50.
It's going to last for a nice long time.
Well, and what I love about with the leaf is, I know if I have problems with this,
take it back.
I take it back up there, and they will fix it and give it back to me.
Yeah, and if they can't
because I'll tell you this,
get you another one.
Jace fixed lighters for me that I didn't buy at the leaf.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Me
too. So I know if I buy something from the leaf as an accessory, Jay's going to take care of it.
Almost definitely.
And that's why we have him as a sponsor.
Almost definitely.
Because he's awesome. And then also, now this is interesting. They say on tunneling, we all know what tunneling is.
Most definitely.
And that's
your thing where you pinch.
That's my second chapped ass response to a construction problem. Number one is a tight draw.
What is chapped ass, man?
It means something that makes my ass chapped, raw.
So you need your lip balm?
I've never used it for that, but speaking of butts, no. I
got you.
You grew up in St. Louis.
Oh.
The humidity never caused your inner thighs to chap.
Dude.
Because once your inner thighs are chapped,
dude,
you're done. We used to go to Six Flags. Dude, we couldn't walk out of there.
Everybody wanted to be bow-legged. I'm bow-legged. No, you're not.
You've been riding a horse?
Nope.
No. But anyway, tunneling cigars is my second biggest pet peeve on a construction. And because it's first of all, you don't detect it until it's already started.
That's correct.
With a bad draw, I know that before I light the cigar. True. But when it starts tunneling, one of the early identifiers of tunneling is whenever you take 3 puffs, puff, 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 and you see smoke coming out the end, but then you're not getting any smoke.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so, bam, it's tunneled.
Oh, you get that frustration. You're like,
right.
Oh.
So then let's talk about their technique.
Okay.
So their technique is they go from where it's burning right now up an inch and cut it.
Which you've said before at times.
Right. But my first thing is that you hold the cigar and then pinch.
Yeah, you'll pinch
just under where it's burning. Mm-hmm. And just when you puff on it, it forces the airflow to go around the center where it's already on fire. Yeah. And so that airflow I'm a pyro. Because I know I'm already doing the engineering of how the air or the
fire.
Yes, the fire runs. And so that's how I do it. Now, if that doesn't work, I do cut it. Mm-hmm. And I usually go, especially if it's before the halfway point, I usually go at least 1.5 inches because what I've found is if it's tunneling on you, even though the burn line is here, the fire has already burned down into there. Mm-hmm. And so when you cut it, you can see
that it's still burning down in there.
Right. Yeah. You're like, well, the center is black because it's tunnel burning. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, that's what they recommend also is cutting it, but they say 1 inch. I say an inch and a half, but I say try the pinch method first. But also, that's one of those things where it takes away from the enjoyment of the cigar if I have to pinch it. But I do that because I want to get through that section of the cigar and then enjoy it.
Yeah, because now you've become a troubleshooter versus just a smoker.
Right.
And that's an issue. It frustrates you. And you get to that point where I don't even want it anymore. You put it back you throw it in the ashtray and you go get another one. And that's, you wanted to enjoy that stick. And now that enjoyment is gone. So yeah,
but also like fixing the tear in the wrapper.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix if you have lip balm on hand.
Yeah, if you have it on
and the
hand.
nice thing about it is I'm hopeful because I actually fixed it on this cigar.
And you passed that point, too.
And I've already made it past that point, and it was a one and done. I don't have to worry about it anymore, which if you don't address the tear, because how many times have you had a tear and then you try to tear it off even, and then when you tear that part off, then the rest of it opens up.
And now I got a leaf hanging out, and you're mad because now it's smoke escaping everywhere from the stick. It's nothing now.
Have you ever had one that came unraveled so bad that you just smoked it with just the binder on it?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that awful?
It is terrible.
I've done that.
Terrible.
Because you're like,
it's too good.
You know what? No, I'm like, I paid $10 for this stick. I'm going to smoke it.
It's too good.
I'm cheap.
And I'm going to smoke it. I'm going to smoke it. So you do what you got to do. It looks ugly, but you get through it. You fight through it. And see, that worked. Like you said, perfectly. A one and done.
And
it worked.
And look at that. Also, it was a little bit running on one side.
Yeah, nice even.
Laying it down, it caught up. It's completely even all the way around. And the tear is gone with the chapstick or the lip balm.
Lip balm.
So those are good tips.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Leave it to the pyro to come up with these. Oh, you got others?
Yeah, well, they had one more. Oh, well, and I see a lot of people do this when it's burning faster on one side.
Than the other.
Is they take the lighter to touch it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's completely acceptable. I see people doing it all the time.
Me too.
But the issue with that technique to me is you caught it too late.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Because most of the time when you start touching it up, I mean, if it's all the way down here, I don't want to have to torch the entire other half to catch up. So that's one of those that you need to do early on, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait until there's a problem.
Pay attention to your stick.
Right. And again, these are scenarios under the cigar category of I wasn't able to just smoke and not think about it. And that's my favorite cigars.
Yeah.
I love lighting up a cigar.
That ain't got anything
and 4 or 5 puffs in, I lean over or I wave you down to tell you just how badass this cigar is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to be like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Look at this.
Yeah, because now we're not talking about baseball.
No, it's not.
Speaking of baseball, did you know the Astros lost last night?
2 home runs back to back.
Listen to this. So I left the Leaf at 9:30.
Yes, sir.
They were winning 2-0.
So it was. You got home?
I didn't come home and watch the game. I watched some other TV with my wife. I thought we won. And then today, my wife tells me the Astros, if they lose tonight, it's over. And I was like, no, they won last night. She's like,
they didn't.
No, they didn't. And I'm like, what? So anyway, the Astros are playing tonight. I think it comes on at 7 or 7:20. But the Cowboys play, and I would love to watch the Astros pull out tonight. But I'm going to watch the Cowboys because, and this is the thing, I haven't seen any Minnesota games.
So you want to see this one? You want to see want to gauge the Cowboys on this?
I do because they're playing in Minnesota, and from what I understand, Minnesota's been playing very well, and the spread on this one was picking the Cowboys to win by 3.5 points. Or it may have been 1.5 points. I don't remember. But anyway, I remember when I saw it, I was like, wow, these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Tell the truth.
And so when I'm going to watch a game, even if it's the Cowboys, I don't want to see a ass kicking. I would
You
like
wanna
to
see a
see a
game.
good game.
Yeah, you wanna
And
see a game.
dude, did you see that game where we came back on New England?
Yeah.
Dude, that was impressive
Let me
because
explain
they
something
had
about
shot themselves in the foot
Let me explain
so
something
many
Let me
times.
explain something about that game. Lucifer could have came up in the middle of that game and offered $1 billion. I still would have. Both of those teams I care nothing about.
Yeah, I know
nothing
that.
about. I didn't care who won who. If it had been a tie, I'd have still been mad. I can't stand either one of them.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay. I did find some solace in it because Belichick lost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, good.
And it was the first time ever that Belichick had like 400 and something yards, like 497 yards scored on his defense.
Yeah.
And so I was excited for that. But you know what as a Cowboy fan, what I really liked about that game was the fact that they overcame.
Okay.
Because in the past, the Cowboys would hang right with them right up until the end and then throw an interception or fumble the ball or find some reason to choke.
The same way my
and so
49ers
seeing
do.
them pull that game off, I was like,
okay,
they actually have some chemistry going on.
Most definitely, especially on your offense.
And that's been a long time coming. We've had different aspects of the offense throughout the years that were like excelling, but never as a unit.
Yeah, 'cause you got everything now.
Dude,
you
now
you got the passing game and the running game.
You got the line.
Well, yeah.
Right off the gate, you got the line.
Then you got a running game with 2 running backs.
With 2
not just one.
Studs. And I would say that we have 4 wide receivers that are studs. And then our tight end. I don't even know that dude's name. And he's kicking ass. Third downs.
Yeah, almost automatic.
Or I love it because they're using him a lot on second down
to get even closer. So
then
it's not
we're
the
like,
longs.
it's like 3 and 1, 3 and 2.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do. In fact, you know, one of our Patreon members, Patrick.
Yeah.
Me and Patrick have a bet on that game. Straight up, no points. He's got Minnesota. I've got the Cowboys. The loser sends the winner a 5-pack of cigars. Not shit cigars either.
Yeah.
I mean, not expensive cigars, just good cigars. And so we made that deal. And, you know, I'm not much gambling on sports. And you know, honestly, gambling on sports, the only wager I think I've ever made was I bet with a bookie one time, and I bet $75 on the Cowboy game that the Minnesota Vikings would beat the Cowboys.
Wow.
And I won the money.
You bet against the Cowboys and won. I understand.
Dude, the spread was like 3. It was back when they had Randy Moss.
Oh,
and I was like,
hey, it's a no-brainer. No-brainer.
Quincy Carter was our quarterback.
And the thing about it was Randy was mad at the Cowboys because he wanted to go there.
Right.
And they didn't draft him. So he said every time he played them.
I think the spread they actually beat us was like by 21. And I was, because when they were like 3.5 spread, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings.
It's like, I'll take that bet. I'll take that one.
Because, dude, you remember back in the day when Randy Moss was...
With Dante Culpepper as the quarterback who could throw 90 yards almost.
And he used the Jumbotron to see where the ball was going to be.
He's sitting there looking at the Jumbotron.
That was just...
That's smart, though.
Oh, I mean, smart, but his speed, his size,
everything
his
about
hands,
his ability to jump, because it's still called when a receiver out jumps a DB and snatches the ball, it's still called being mossed.
Yes.
You are mossed.
Yes.
Today is still called that. And I love that, man. I love it. Because his last year, he was with us.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Didn't he go somewhere else too?
Nope.
So he just went to the 49ers.
And then he's like, okay, I'm done. And they wanted him back. And he was like, nah. He said, I'm done. He said, my body's can't do it anymore. But we had one three-game spread where he was the old Moss.
The more money that goes in your wallet, the less my body can do that.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? It's like, I could do that, but I don't need to do that.
I don't need, and he does it. He did.
And he was very smart with his money, and he's had a great correspondent career.
My thing is, after the 90s, not just in football, but in pro sports, athletes started thinking differently about money. You know what I'm saying? They started investing in things that would make money later on.
Yeah, they quit buying strip clubs.
Yeah, strip clubs and car washes with daycares on the side.
You know what I would do if I was a team owner in any sport. When I bring rookies in and I sign them for hundreds of thousands of dollars, the first thing I would do when you join my club is show you the ESPN 30 for 30, why they're all broke.
But the NFL, for all rookies, they have a course for them on that.
With Edwards is part of that, the old coach for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But that's a great education. But let's just slap people in the face by showing them the 30. I mean, Vinny Testaverde's broke.
Yeah, man, because they were doing some wild things.
Well, his dad took all his money because his dad was his agent.
I'm looking at an article I read yesterday. Shaq made this statement. He told his kids, he said, "I'm rich. Y'all aren't." He said, because they got to learn how to make their own money. He said, yeah, my responsibility is for you for a while. He said, but once you get a certain age, that's my money that you try to borrow. It ain't yours no more.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though.
But my thing is, look at what he's done
Shaq
with his money.
Is one of the most successful businessmen in all of professional sports.
Yes. Only one I can say that's even close to him was Roger Staubach. Because Staubach bought dealerships.
Yeah.
He bought dealerships that worked.
Well, Troy Aikman did too.
Troy Aikman did too. But he got that from Staubach. Because Staubach told him, he said, this is how you make your money, make money for you.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset that not just an athlete, anybody that comes in, because I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was talking about houses. He said, my thing is, actually it was yesterday, he said he retired from TxDOT after 30 years. He said, but all my money I put in buying these houses. And he said, I have 30 rental houses. And he said, 25 of them the government trying to take from him. I'm like, trying to take? He said, yeah, because they want to put military members in them. I'm like, so that means you got good houses there. Because the military, the VA, the government don't play with no slumlord.
Really?
Your houses have to be up to a certain code, and it has to be above that for them, because they're not going to give you money for something that tomorrow the foundation is going to fall on. It has to be a certain. And I thought he said when I was young, my daddy told me, he said real estate. He said that land ain't never going nowhere. It's always going to be there. And I was like, my grandfather told me that. He said that's when I realized all my money needs to go into land. And when you do that, that makes money.
Yeah, I was reading an article yesterday, and one of the questions was, with the high inflation rate right now, where is a safe place to keep your money? Where to put your money that you make? And one of them was real estate, land, houses, just whatever, because you're going to maintain some level of value and actually gain in time.
If you take care of it.
Right. Now, the other one, which was interesting, that came in second, was cryptocurrency.
And there's I can't think, he's a big name soccer player. He signed a new contract.
And part of his...
was Bitcoin.
I saw that.
Was Bitcoin.
Yeah. And, there's a football player, and a percentage of his income from the league or from the team is Bitcoin. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Especially because, I mean, it's very volatile.
But the thing is, but
it's worth more than $1.
Thank you. And it's steady growing. I was looking at this thing yesterday. It was talking about Cardano in 2018. They said in 2018 you could get one Cardano for 3 cents.
Yeah.
He said 3 years later, just 3 years later, it's $3.
Well, it's never made $3.
Well,
it got up to $2.46.
$2.46, yeah.
And right now it's at $1.98.
And he said, for that person that bought $1,000 worth in 2018,
you've done very well. So, Yeah, so I mean that's a whole nother topic that we're not experts on, but
we dabble in it.
We dabble in it. We dabble in it, but it's for me personally, I see how much money the government just prints out of thin air, and it's like our money has got to be worth less because there's nothing backing it up, and they're just printing money.
Nothing backing it.
I mean, I really think I should start printing money.
Yeah, but they got a place for you when you do that.
Damn.
They got a place for you when you do that.
I actually watch, I like to watch a lot of documentaries. Uh-huh. And did you know back in the late 2000s that a whole printing, not even a company, an entity, all they did was produce American $100 bills. And you know where this was? Where? North Korea.
I can believe it.
The best money could buy at printing the best dollars.
To try to destroy our economy.
Right. And you know how it was detected? It was too perfect.
You did too good of a job.
They made it perfect. Like some of the designs that you see on a dollar bill.
Yeah, there are flaws.
There's flaws in the printing because that's how the mint made it.
Yeah.
Well, these guys corrected the mistakes that those guys made.
Like, nah, that ain't real.
Right.
It's perfect.
And I forgot how many hundreds of millions. They were called the Super 100. And anyway, most of it's been confiscated, taken out of circulation, but
it was out there for a while.
Yeah, they were even asking that if people had some, it was actually worth money now as a collectible.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a friend of mine bought an old country house out in the country. I think this was probably about 4, maybe 5 years ago. And when they were going through the barn, they found like what you would think of as a Wells Fargo chest in the barn. It was still locked up, old rusty locks. They cracked it open, and there was over $400,000 worth of Confederate money.
Wow.
So and that's actually a collector thing.
Collectors.
And so he actually took it in, and it wasn't Confederate money. It was counterfeit Confederate money.
Wow.
Because the North was counterfeiting
to destroy the economy.
Right.
To destroy the economy.
And there was actually one famous guy that was making it so well that if you have his counterfeits, it's worth more than the regular money.
Wow.
But the other counterfeits weren't even that good because here's what happened. Once people in the South found out that the North was counterfeiting their money, they started counterfeiting their own money.
We can do it too. It ain't gonna be the only ones making money.
Right.
We can do it too.
So anyway, but the counterfeit that he had wasn't worth anything. But it was an interesting adventure.
As a kid, I've always dreamed of being a treasure hunter. I've always dreamed of that. Just going digging and trying to find
I did not
stuff.
know that.
Yeah.
You know what?
That was my
From
fantasy,
now on, when
man.
you come over, I'm going to bury something in the yard and see if you can find it.
No, I'm not going to try to find nothing you buried. I'm sorry. If you bury it, it'll be archaeologist 900 years from now.
I can sit out on the patio smoking a cigar saying hotter or colder.
Yeah. Knowing you'd be lying. But no, man, that was
I'll have Bryant fixing up the flower beds.
Why am I
Dig
still
a little
digging
more over there.
Oh, you're getting hot, man. I'm redoing your garden. Nah. But that was my dream. I just wanted to be a treasure hunter.
Gotcha.
I love just finding stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whenever I go into an old house, even when I was with DSHS and we'd have to go to these old buildings to do investigations, I'd be looking around trying to find shit. Like, man, what is behind this? What's behind this? Because people hide stuff everywhere, and then they die or they just forget about it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I remember as a kid, treasure hunting was like amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you, when I was probably like 5, my grandmother had an like a guest house behind her house. But I don't know if you would call it a guest house because, I mean, it was basically just like a 20-foot by 20-foot square. And I don't even remember if there were a sink in it. Mm-hmm. I know there was a bathroom in it, but it would be like a one-room place to stay.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Back then they didn't call it that, but whatever. But anyway, I remember it was just filled full of shit. You know, my grandmother, whatever she didn't want, but she wouldn't throw it away, so it went in there.
See,
but what
that would have intrigued me.
Dude, we found all kinds of cool shit.
Yes,
and it was probably completely worthless.
Yeah, but it was cool
to me. It was awesome.
Yes,
and I remember one time me and my cousin were back in there rummaging through stuff. And we found a payphone. We found more than one payphone.
Like, we don't need that anymore. What's going on out there?
So what it was my aunt, her boyfriend was stealing payphones
to get the money out
and then breaking them open. But as a kid, we thought that was amazing that we had found this. And when we went and told my grandmother, she was like, that son of a bitch.
I can see that. In East St. Louis, there was this dude. We were young. He was a big time dope dealer. And when they changed the drug laws in the 90s, where if you were caught as a drug pen, you could get a life sentence.
Right.
He got a life sentence.
Wow.
The thing was, though, he used to bury his money places.
Really?
So it's an urban myth, but there's some truth to it. It's about $2 million worth of money in the city of East St. Louis buried places.
Wow.
And people still go around.
How much?
$2 million. Dude was big. When I say dude was big. And people still go around today in 2021 digging in places trying to see if they can find, because he put them in Folgers coffee cans.
Wow.
He just pack it full of 20s, 10s, 20s, 100s, put a cap on it, bury it. But he's been in jail since the 90s.
And he wouldn't even know where it is now.
He can't. You know you can't remember every place he done put all that stuff.
So, change subject just a little bit. Have you ever seen those guys that go out in the old, like, Gettysburg fields and find, like, bullets and different items? I think that's cool.
I would love to do it because I used to tell my mom every Christmas I wanted a metal detector.
I had one.
She said she wouldn't give me that because she said I'd use it as a weapon.
But I had a cheap one, and it sucked. I found a lot of pop tops.
It was picking up everything metal.
You remember back in the 70s, we didn't have the ones that stayed on.
No, you peeled it off.
You peeled it off, and so
threw it away.
That's what you found. But, up on my dad's land, which is about an hour north of here, we used to find a lot of arrowheads, which was cool.
That was real cool, especially as a kid.
Yeah,
dude, because I'd have been finding me branches to put on there.
Dude, they are all over up there.
Oh.
It's like anywhere there was like small runoff, we would just follow those down, and that's where you would find them.
Wow.
And water had like smoothed them out over the decades.
Now see, I'd have loved that. That would have. Where's Brian? Oh, he out there trying to find some more arrowheads.
Oh, dude, my dad had over 100 of them.
Yeah, that'd have been me.
Yeah.
I'd have put branches on them and trying to shoot them again. Dude, that was me.
And, when I was growing up as a kid, when I would stay the summers with my dad, dude, that's just the kind of stuff we did every day.
Yeah.
It was like we would be packing lunches because we're going exploring. You know what I mean? And there was no boundaries. Like, people didn't care if you were on their land.
No.
Two
kids.
Two second graders out living life, having the best
first of all,
time of your life.
They knew we weren't doing anything super destructive.
Right.
We were being boys, but you were doing something, like you said, exploring. Your mind is...
Oh, dude, we were Lewis and Clark.
Tell the truth.
You know what I mean?
Tell the truth.
It was like, at that age, life was just amazing.
It was an enjoyment,
It
man.
was.
You woke up to leave the house.
Dude, we used to get a flat-bottom boat, take it down to the river, me and my brother, we would fish from sun up to sundown, and then get out and take all the perch that we had caught, put it on trot lines, and then go back on the river and put trot lines out. And then we would put our boat up. We'd set up a camp, and then the next morning we would get back in the boat and go check the trot lines, and you just see those lines just moving. And you're like, oh, we got some.
Got them. And see, we used to do differently, but we used to do certain things because we love going to crawdad fishing. Crawdads, whatever they want to call them. But we get
Was there a lot of that up in there?
Oh, heck yeah,
area? I didn't know they had crawdads.
We get buckets, man. Get you about a pack of bacon. All you need is some rope and a safety pin. Dip that stuff down, pull them up, just throw them in the bucket. Just blow them. Come home. My great grandmother was from Louisiana, so when it came to cooking crawdads, bruh.
Nice.
Bruh.
So where we were, we didn't have a lot of crawdads, but we still caught them. But the only places that we could catch them is where the water ran under the road.
Yeah.
But there would only be like maybe 6 to 12 holes.
Dude, we come back. 3 of us will leave with 5-gallon buckets apiece.
And
you
they'd
come
all
back
be full.
Full.
Wow.
Full.
That's
You get
awesome.
back home picking out the black ones and throwing them away because you know them it don't taste that well. But you still have over half a bucket full.
Well, see, the ones that we caught, and I mean, we'd only catch like maybe 10.
Nah.
And we would use those for bait for fish.
Yeah.
So we didn't ever eat those.
Oh, dude, we ate ours.
But I'll tell you what we did eat. Did you eat frog legs?
Yes.
We used to go do that.
Frog legs.
Take a 22 out, go out to all these different tanks.
We didn't do those 22s. We just chased them.
No.
We in the city. You can't run around with a 22, man.
I'm out in the middle of
That's what
nowhere.
I'm saying. You can't run around with a 22 in East St. Louis. It's going to be a problem. But you go out there, you just chase them, get you about half a bucket of frogs, come home, whack them.
Did you ever see the legs jumping in the frying pan?
Jumping in the like, ooh, that one's going to be good. But it was just.
Now, did you ever eat mountain oysters?
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope.
I couldn't do it.
Nope. And then when I found out
Not
what they
gonna
were,
do
I was
it.
thankful I didn't eat them.
My sister did it. I couldn't do it.
Pray for her.
Hey, she's older than me. She's a godly woman. And
he was blessing her.
Yeah. I mean, she said they were great.
Okay.
I couldn't do
I'll take her word for it.
I also don't eat snake.
I've tried rattlesnake.
How was it?
It tastes like chicken.
Dude, I'm so sick of that.
It did. It didn't have a different taste to me. It tastes like chicken. Just the thing. I ate shark.
I've heard
shark
that
is
all
different.
my life. I don't like shark.
Shark was different.
I had shark and it does not taste like chicken.
No, gator was good.
I had a
What else?
I had a shark steak.
That's what I had was a steak.
And I was not impressed. It was too like
wild. Yeah.
No wine.
It was too much.
It was like it had a distinct wine flavor to it.
It wasn't wine. It was
and I don't know if that was what it was
to me.
sauteed in.
Oh,
but I did not enjoy it. And then also I caught a shark once fishing.
In Texas?
Yeah, down in Galveston.
Oh, okay.
I was on a pier and I was fishing. I never really did that before down in the ocean. And I caught like a dogfish, which is not edible. It looks like a horny toad.
Okay.
And then I caught a sheephead, which is a edible fish.
I've never heard of a sheephead.
It's black and white, and it's got like a big forehead. And it's like blunt looking.
Okay.
But anyway, it's edible. And then I also caught a shark that was probably about maybe 2.5 feet tall long at the most. But the thing about it is, if you catch a shark and you don't know what you're doing,
yeah,
how do you get the shark off of your line?
That's what I want to know. You just cut that sucker and leave it.
So I got it up on the pier. And I mean, this thing is flopping around.
On, yeah.
His mouth is chomping, just wanting to get close. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And this old man came over and was like, you know how to do that? And I was like, no, sir. And he took out his pocket knife and he cut it in the back of the gill here. And within 30 seconds, it was dead.
Ah.
And he was like, now you do it however you want to.
Wow.
And so I ended up taking that and soaking it in milk for like 36 hours and then cooked it, and it was awful. Now, to be
it was awful.
to be fair, I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know people love shark.
Yeah,
I'm not into it. But when I cooked it, I knew that I probably wasn't going to like it because I'm not a chef.
Gotcha.
But when I went to the restaurant I took my wife to this restaurant for our anniversary one year, and they had shark, and that's what I ordered. And again, it was awful. Okay. So I'm not a fan of shark. If you are, I'd love to know how they make it because I was not a fan.
Yeah, I haven't I tried it once and I didn't like it. But what we used to do as a kid, we used to go down on the Mississippi and we get stink bait. You know, take stink bait. We
catfish.
Yeah. But see, you could only eat certain size catfish out the Mississippi because when they get too big, they've eaten everything down there.
Right.
And that's going to be the gamiest, nastiest fish you've ever in your life ate. But you get one about a good 2 feet to 2.5, around about 15.
Anywhere between 7 and 20 pounds is usually good.
Because what we look at is about 15
for us,
pounds.
It was channel cat or yellow cat.
It was channel cat for us. And then you take that sucker. We take bread with us. Okay, we take grease in a pan because we going to cook on the side of the bank.
Oh, see, that's not how we
do it.
Dude,
we pull them suckers out of there, fillet them, nugget them up, throw them in that grease. That's what we call.
Now, do y'all batter them?
Yeah, you batter them with cornmeal.
Yeah.
You pull them suckers out the grease, throw them on that Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread.
Yeah. Throw them on that Wonder Bread. Bruh.
Y'all were high class.
Bruh. Wonder Bread was cheap.
Was it?
Cheap. Because we had the Wonder Bread
did
factory.
Mrs. Baird.
But see, we had Wonder Bread. We had the Bunny Bread factory there, too. And they used to compete. So Wonder Bread would be cheap at one time, and then Bunny would find out how much, and they'd drop theirs down. So it was like whoever had the cheapest that week was the bread that you bought. You buy your loaf of it, you go down there, you fish. And like you said, we was kids, man.
Right.
You going down there, this is life. You enjoying yourself, man. You didn't care. I catch me 2 channel cats. Dude, I'm eating good that day. For the whole day. I'm still eating on that when I get home.
Well, we used to have a guy that worked in the office when I was working down in the Houston area. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what. If civilization goes to shit, there was a guy that worked in there. His name was Buddy. Mm-hmm. That's the guy you're going to go hang out with because
he's going to survive.
He's going to feed you. He's going to protect you. He's going to have shelter.
Everything.
Dude, he made a boat out of wood.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's like, what else would you make? Dude, this boat looked like $1 million. Wow. I mean, it was amazing.
So he know what he doing.
Like bent the wood. Yeah. And it was like all, several. And I was like, dude.
You know what you're doing.
And the dude would take like a 2 or 3 week vacation every year and go down to the very bottom of Louisiana and live on a houseboat and just like
survive.
Gator, fish,
crab, everything,
birds.
Yes.
And I was like, we used to have cookouts. I mean, we would have cookouts at work, and like someone would bring up their grill, and people would bring steaks. Well, he's the guy who would do all the cooking.
Because he knew he had to cook everything.
He would put your steak in soy sauce, and then put it in a seasoning.
Yeah, and let it sit.
And then put it on this badass grill that he built. And one year he was like, "Hey, man, try some of this," and I was like, "What is that?" Just take a bite and see if you like it. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. You tell me what it is. It's bobcat. Yeah, I'm not eating bobcat. And I'm like, where in the hell did you kill a bobcat? And he's like, I didn't kill it. It was dead on the side of the road.
Roadkill.
Yeah.
He played Granny on you after him.
I was like, I'm not
good,
trying.
Bro.
I'm not a big fan of eating anything that has the word cat. I've eaten Chinese food, but at least it doesn't say cat. It says beef.
It says beef on there. It said chicken.
So anyway, well, hey, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. And I want to let you know that we got a special guest coming to you next week. We've got Eric Martinez. He started out as a musician, built a production company, then went into acting, now has started a movie production company out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And all along the way, he absolutely loves cigars. You've seen him on the cover of some cigar magazines. And the dude just loves the community. And the amount of charity that he's done is just like... makes me feel like a shitty human. But anyway, we're going to have him on next week, so you're not going to want to miss that. And then also, I want to give a shout out to a few of our Patreons because Jax rocks. Did you see his Halloween costume?
Yes.
Dude.
Him, his wife, and the baby.
Kid. That was awesome. That was awesome.
I like that.
Yeah. And then we want to give a shout out to Big Adam. You know, he got married.
Yes, he did. Yes,
he got married yesterday.
He did. Yes, he did.
I was like, congratulations.
He could never forget his anniversary.
Oh, I know. Hey, Halloween, I better be ready.
I better be ready.
But he got married last night. We want to wish him the best. We're so excited for him. Young man has his head on his shoulders the right way.
Yes, he does.
And then also, before we go, we got to talk about Case Elegance. So Case Elegance is one of our sponsors. That's where my cigars are. If you could, let me turn it right there. If you look right over there behind me in the video, you'll see my Octador. And it is not only is it keeping perfect humidity, it is full as can be.
Dude.
Like I can't get another cigar in there and it's still spot on.
We moved, right? I put my Army box
humidor
in a box at the bottom. I forgot about it. We get there to the house. That box sat in the garage.
Did you have cigars in there?
Cigars in it.
How would you forget about it?
I did because I had the other one.
Oh.
And I was going through this box and I got to the box. I was like, oh man, that's my cigar. And the first thing came to my mind was, you know, the humidity had gone up. So they weren't going to be good, right? When I looked at that sucker, and guess where it was set at?
What was it on?
68.
Perfect.
I was like, this thing here, man. What did they make?
You know what?
How are they making this?
You know
man?
what? That humidor takes care of you.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean?
It did.
Because you're in a situation where you're moving. You have other things going on that you can't focus on your sticks.
Nope.
Which is a sin. But I'm going to let it slide this time.
I had COVID.
I get it, though. You had COVID. You were moving. Your wife had COVID.
Yep.
I mean,
like we weak as heck.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
You had a lot of shit going on. But your Case Elegance humidor took care of your sticks.
Like, I got you, bro.
Exactly.
Got you.
And, I mean, the quality that goes into their humidors is second to none. They actually raise the bar for everyone else. Because I'm not saying that you can't find good humidors that work as well, but I guarantee you at the price point, you're going to pay double.
Yep.
I helped my mother-in-law pick out a humidor for my brother-in-law. And I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but it was a very nice humidor. Mm-hmm. It was $500.
Good Lord.
And it's not any better than the Case Elegance Octador or the military footlocker for half the price. You know what I mean?
I bet you.
So look down in the show notes. You'll see a link to Case Elegance. You can order one of their humidors. Use the code Cigar Talk Coin or try Cigar Talk, and you can either get a medallion challenge coin with my logo or Cigar Talk logo and Case Elegance on the other side. Or you can get 10% off of your order. Larry just ordered a new travel case, the leather. Let me see that leather case, man. Because let me tell you what, if you want to carry your cigars in style, this is badass. I mean, that leather is supple. It's beautiful. And when you open it up, I mean, this thing is made to where you got it going on.
You want to open
it? So look in here, man. So up here, you have your humidification.
Yeah.
Here in this pocket, you can carry your lighter, your punch, your cutter, and then you have another one for your cutter, which Larry doesn't have. And then, wow, he has no cigars in here either. Holy shit!
He's smoking.
Hey, you know what? Leave that right here. I gotta put some sticks in there. But anyway, I love that case.
Yeah, bro.
I think that's probably the nicest case I've seen. And I'm sure, and I'm sure there's some luxury place somewhere that's making them for $1,000. But that's $100.
Yeah, we blue collar.
And
man.
then you use the code; it's $90.
Yes.
And these guys stand behind their products as well as any company I've ever seen. They've impressed me. They go above and beyond.
Oh yeah.
And so look down the show notes, click on Case Elegance. It'll take you over to show the military footlocker humidor, but you can navigate through their entire website. I said shite. Website. And check it out. I'm a huge fan, huge supporter, and so support Cigar Talk by going to our sponsors.
Yes, please.
Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We're glad to have Bryant back.
Glad to be back.
You know, Colton, I want to say right now, did a really good job in your absence. But there's already enough white boyness on this show.
God.
We don't need to have two of them.
Oh my
you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It's like,
how did we go there, man?
It's like you got the fiddle and the bow when you got me and Colton on, and I'm the bow.
Oh my goodness, man.
So anyway, guys, we'll see you next week, and until then,
keep smoking.
Boom.